Hey, Mike, what's going on?
What's up, Kelly? Nice to talk to you again. Of course, you remember our conversation from a few months ago because you remember every single person you talked to over the past.
And every single word.
Yes, every single word. But we did speak last summer. I think it was summer or spring when Foreigner announced that this would be the final tour, and you announced the tour. But I don't think we talked since then. Foreigner has been nominated to go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and congratulations on that. So I've questions about that though.
Okay.
You have been in the band for just about 20 years, I think, almost 20 years.
That's correct.
Right, and then
Yeah.
and other members in the band have been in just as long too. So
Right.
who is going to be at the ceremony if you guys are indeed inducted, which I'm sure Foreigner will be?
Well, I think the actual and listen, I don't know all the ins and outs, but I believe the inductees are the original guys,
Right.
and I'm just here humbly standing by to assist or participate in any way that gets organized. And I'm really happy about the nomination, and I think these guys, really deserve it, and I think it's a reflection of how much they have contributed to the music of the 20th century. And there's some things that people don't realize, that there were recording techniques and engineering and things that were done during this period of time that were super groundbreaking and really had an effect, a knock-on effect on other bands, because this was a real explosive time for the technology in music at the time. So not only is the songwriting and the sales and all of that, I think, influential, but I think also the recording efforts were really influential as well.
I would just assume maybe not all of you inducted, but at least 20 years, and mostly like Jeff Pilson and stuff. You guys, I don't know. I think you guys should be up there with them. I mean, I know you didn't write the songs, but you did
Well,
have.
I appreciate that. It's like it's not something that's gonna make or break me. I'm fortunate to be in this business for almost 50 years, and being able to do what I do and sing for a living, that's above and beyond what most people get to do in their life. So I'm happy all the way around.
Yeah, I just, with some recognition of what I was going to say specifically, kind of carrying the music on to different generations live. I see this at a lot of shows I go to now. There's the dad with, like, for example, the Foreigner T-shirt from the '80s with his kid, who's
Right.
who's turning him on to the music, and I definitely credit you and the other guys in the band for helping out with that.
Well,
But
I see that a lot too, and the great thing is that I see those kids. They're actually singing the words. They're not just being dragged there
right.
by their parents. They actually know the song, which is awesome.
And the song, that's what's really, I mean, it's the strength of the song. I mean, like you said, you've been making music for 50 years. It really comes down to the songwriting. And those guys definitely had a winning formula, if there was any formula at all.
Well, also too, there was a period of time where there were many different sounds and styles of bands playing all on the same radio station, and you would really get a wide spectrum of music on your local station. But also inside of the songs, that was a period of time where arrangements and parts were really unique and interesting. And a lot of times today we're hearing very similar chord progressions and arrangements, and that's kind of indicative of the time. But back then, it was nurtured and encouraged to be unique and different and individual, and that, I think, shows on those records that the arrangements and the parts are so specific and so cohesive, and I really appreciate that about the sound of this band.
That's a great observation. You're so right. And like you said earlier, technology was different at the time of the recording of some of those songs. And I'm talking specifically of like auto-tune and sampling and things like that. There wasn't really any of that when the albums were being made in the 80s. I mean, there were studio tricks, but nothing like they have now. And
there were things like, in order to get certain kinds of echo, and songs were being recorded on 2-inch wide tape.
Yeah.
24 tracks on the tape. they would have to set up a loop of tape all around the control room to get certain types of echo. So, I mean, that goes to speak of how creative people were being with having tape running all the way around the studio so that you could loop it in a big enough loop to make certain kinds of echo. And you don't even, now you press a button. So
yeah. Well, you guys are on the road, Xfinity Center here in Mansfield on August 2nd. This is your last run, and then I think we spoke about this last time. Maybe after the last show, you will literally be riding off into the sunset on a motorcycle because you are a motorcycle enthusiast. I think last time
I don't think we're going to disappear off the face of the earth, but we're not going to tour 9 months a year anymore.
Oh, okay.
And that's kind of the deal. It's very well. It's not like it's tarring roofs in August as a redhead, but it's time consuming and difficult in a musician sensibility to be away from home 9 months of the year. And so just want to I have other things I want to do and live life and do things while I can. And so just the 9 months thing is no longer happening.
Right. Understandable. I mean, I can barely make it up a flight of steps these days without, breathing heavy, as opposed to playing for like almost 2 hours, singing and moving across the stage and paying attention to everything else. I think we talked about this last time.
Right.
I compared it to being an athlete, which sometimes it is. Depends, I guess, how you do it.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of intense breathing while having to move, and yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah,
thing.
A lot of things going on. So hopefully the dads with the old Foreigner shirt, and like we said, the kids with the new Foreigner shirt will come out and see you guys one more time at the Xfinity Center August 2nd. Before I let you go, I want to ask you a question about songs, and we do this thing here every Wednesday on the Pike called Shoulda, Coulda Wednesday. And what we do is we ask people to call in and nominate songs that they thought could have been a hit, songs that they love, could be from anybody, any time period. Are there any Foreigner songs? I know you guys mainly stick to the hits because Foreigner has so many. Are there any Foreigner songs or maybe songs maybe from the 80s that you love that you thought should have been a hit?
There are songs that we do or that we have done over the years that weren't necessarily hits. I mean, in fact, in our Vegas residency, we're doing a Girl on the Moon from the 4 album.
Ooh.
Great song.
Yeah.
I mean, we do Break It Up. I mean, At War with the World is a great song, but, not fitting the pop format kind of thing, but just a great song, and the energy and the vibe is really cool. So there's, like you said, this band has a lot of hits, and there's also a lot of songs that, that we enjoy that aren't in that hit category too. So,
well, I'll take a couple of those titles you mentioned and throw them into the pile tomorrow with all the other nominations that the listeners come up with. And but again, this is the last time you may see Foreigner in this area, at least for a long time, not forever, like you say, but at least for a long time. That's August 2nd at the Xfinity Center. Kelly Hansen, I appreciate your time, man. Good luck on the road here, and I hope to see you on that stage at the Rock Hall.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.